Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What's cracking, people? It's your baby mama's favorite cousin T-Taw. And today we have a wonderful, wonderful conversation prepared for you. Make sure that you have your notes ready, your notepad, your pen, your paper. Make sure that you have your copy of the seduction scriptures. You have your copy of Nice Guys and Players. And for those who have been paying attention to the recent conversations, make sure you have, if not have ordered, your copy of Pimp God, What Your Mama Should Have Told You, because tonight's conversation is going to include valuable information in terms of what men from the ages of 18 to 88 and beyond would do well to learn, not only about themselves, but about the type of women that they desire to acquire a mating situation with, a dating situation with, and ultimately a relating situation with. Gentlemen, tonight we are going to cover the topic: how women run game. Now, for those who have been following the conversations that we have been having in recent months, we know that there's a difference between running game and applying the philosophical curriculum known as game. There's a difference between running game and practicing the art of ism. And tonight we are going to dive into what those differences are. And more importantly, we are going to cover the tactics, the strategies, the traps, the tricks, and the ways in which women run game. But before we really get deep into this information, shout out to the newcomers, the early comers. Was good with it? True Sayer.
Twin?
Absolutely. Lil Rock was good with it.
Twin?
How you feeling? Shout out to you, Tristan Fitness.
Twin?
Yes, sir. Bringing it up as well, Kenneth Young. Salute to you, masters of the game.
Twin?
That's what's up. Salute to, let's see, Brian says, women run game trying to open the door for me, asking me if I need help while making it. That's what's up. Absolutely.
Twin?
Salute to you. Joe Blast, what's up, man? How you feeling? Absolutely. And so as we go into this topic, let us bring up none other than the man, the myth, the legend, the OG player himself, Rom Wills.
I'll be a player for life, so where's my wife?
Absolutely. Rom, how you feeling today?
Man, I'm doing fine, man. Can you hear me okay?
Excellent. Loud and clear.
All right, man. Yeah, man, it's deeper. I saw what somebody say, open the door. Nah, they go deeper than that. It's psychological what they really do. So we're going to get into that.
Absolutely.
It's deep how women running games. Shoot, like I always used to say, and I'm going to say it tonight, shoot, they be running game from the time they baby girls. They figure out they cry a certain way. They can get that big man they call daddy to come running and stuff. They like, oh, wait a minute. Shoot,
Yes.
they be figuring that out since the time they children. Oh, and when they hit puberty, oh my goodness. But we'll get into that.
Listen, Rom, you are getting into it, and no, I want to stay on that line of understanding, because here's the thing: the structure or the way in which women run game, as Rom has already brought out, starts at a young age. It starts when they are observing in their early development, but it actually starts even before that. You see, and there's a story that I like to tell, that I like to relate to guys about this particular topic, especially when we're in coaching sessions, that we'll get to in a little bit. But it's important and it's essential that we set the table properly for this. And Rom has already started to set the table when he mentioned that it starts at an early age. But let's take it even further.
Okay.
The game that women run starts before the man or the young man or the baby boy even arrives. You
Mm,
see, the game that women run starts with mama,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
starts with auntie,
Mm-hmm.
starts with grandma, big
Mm-hmm.
mama. You see, no matter who you are, where you're from on the planet, women, in the way that they relate, in the way that they establish hierarchies within themselves, in their groups, their female group hierarchies, has to do with weaving webs,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? They build worlds with their words.
Mm-hmm.
It's been made mention multiple times in these spaces that women use language, as Ram mentioned, to psychologically entrap, to psychologically capture a man's imagination, his attention,
Yes.
to bring
Yeah.
him into a mindset that
Mhm.
uh, disarms him,
Yes.
right? And this is just the foundation, the framework of how women run game. You see,
Mhm.
women start to build the image that they want men to receive at a young age,
Oh, yeah.
meaning that on the playground, at school, the young girls build they huddle up in the corner, and
Mhm.
they talk about things like baby dolls,
Oh,
or
yeah.
who's cute or who's not. They're already talking about social situations and domestic and interpersonal relations at a young age. Whereas
Oh,
the
yeah.
young boys, we're throwing the football.
Yeah,
We're,
we ain't thinking about it because when they young, they already thinking about what they gonna do, how they gonna get that cute boy over there, what he gonna do for them. I mean, seriously, they talking about it. See, one of the things that's really helped me that I try to be trying to get fellas. See, I learned a lot of game from women. And
Mhm.
I was watching them. I would pay attention to them. I would just sit and be quiet and listen to women in my family talk because in my immediate family, it was mostly women. So I was like paying attention to how they were saying, what they were doing, how they were getting men to do stuff. I was like, oh, okay. I was watching my mother, may she rest in peace. I was watching how she was running game on some men. I was like, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. But she
Right,
would tell me some stuff, and other women would tell me some stuff so I wouldn't get played.
right.
See, but see, you get some guys out there, unfortunately, they thinking women dumb, but shoot, that's one of the things. That's why I say the most dangerous woman sometimes is that woman being quiet. Like I got a
Mhm.
cousin, and I don't mind saying it. And I've told some people, I say, if she too quiet around you, that's when you worry. Keep her talking. Because if she too quiet, she's scheming, and she always could scheme. Before she could even talk, I watched her grow up, watched her speak. I was like, and she could always get guys to do whatever because she would just sit back and watch him. And she knew how to she knew how to hit him up here. See, a smart woman knows how to hit a man up here. They head straight for the brain. Like that's part of the thing when I always say a man make love to a woman's body, but a woman make love to a man's mind. And
Yes, indeed.
if you look at some of the serious players, some of the serious women players, they might not be all that. They might not win a beauty contest. Of course, there are still the players who can win beauty contests, and we'll get into that. But
Mhm.
you get the ones who really know how to weave that world that cousin T talked about. They're dangerous. They know how to get you to think something. They know how to play right into it. Like if you see a man and woman and that woman being super submissive and stuff, like I saw this couple one time and it was when I was doing some vending and the woman was super quiet, super submissive, and this dude thought the man was running. I say, no, that woman probably running things.
Mhm.
She probably running things, probably getting all of that.
Mhm. No, absolutely. And keep in mind that there are levels to everything. But before we really get into those levels, a salute to Nice and Smeezy. We appreciate you for kicking that out with the fin. It says, Big Bro and Unc, let's get it. Absolutely. Let's get into it. And keep in mind that Ron Wills is information is scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Like, share, subscribe, forward this video to someone that you know will benefit from this ism. Now, early on, we have a good question here from Sovereign James. It says, but what are we supposed to do with this info? I have to, okay, Sovereign James, yeah, your guy. It doesn't come natural for me to manipulate. It feels wrong. Now,
But hold up. Let me answer that. I
go
know
ahead.
you're gonna say something, man. Dude,
Go get him.
it can feel wrong to you. It can feel whatever, but just know you got it out there. Know every time you dealing with a woman, she got an agenda. She got an agenda. She's working on her agenda. What you got to do is use that information the same way a pimp will use that information. All a pimp does, and Pimp Jeezy should be on here at some point. You got to use that and turn it against them. That's how you use it. You use it to protect it. Like I've said a million times. I said a million times. I can't point to where a woman has seriously played me. Seriously played me. Like I've never given up money, anything, because I already knew it. Because even if a woman's trying something, sometimes I just ask her straight up, look, what you really want from me? All right.
Mhm.
And then I decide whether or not I'm going to give it. You got to use it for protection. It's not for manipulation, but knowing how they're going to do anyway. Because sometimes, like, I mean, I remember when I was married doing a book signing, right? And I came home, I'm all tired. I come home, the wife, she in a nice short orange outfit. I was like, oh, okay. She want to make sure I ain't thinking about too many of the women I might have met while I was out. And I was like,
Mm.
okay, good one. Or she fixing up or something. And, you already figured out, okay, yeah, they want something. And you probably already figured out you're going to give it to them. It was like sometimes you see what they doing, but you let them run it anyway. See, think about it like this. Think about the legendary Chinese philosopher on war, Sun Tzu. If you know yourself, you know your enemy. You need not fear the results of 100 battles. In this case, if you know yourself and you know women, you need not fear the results of 100 seductions.
Indeed.
So, what were you going to say, cousin T Tall?
Well, so you know how we feel about that word, or what we think about the word manipulate. I appreciate what Pimp God's position on that word manipulate is. He says that women manipulate and juvenile males manipulate in
Mm-hmm.
terms of how they quote unquote run game.
Mm-hmm.
And this factors into the conversation that we're having tonight. When a man, a player, Mac, OG, applies the philosophical curriculum that is game to a situation, when he is spitting that ism at the type of woman that he desires to acquire a dynamic with, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is making sure that everybody involved will win. Whereas,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a key difference, this is a key point right here. Everybody who's taking notes, remember at the 55-minute mark, we said this. Key difference between how a player applies game and how a woman runs game. The player is going to put everybody involved in the best position to win, whereas the woman is only involved or concerned with benefiting herself.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
woman's primary concern when running game is to benefit herself. Okay. We're gonna let that breathe for a moment. And it's not a flaw. And we don't fault women for expressing their natural femininity. Femininity at its core is chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Masculinity at its core is order.
Yes.
Part of our natural role is to discover and to produce order from chaos. So
Mhm.
a woman, her natural orientation is to run game, is to procure protection, is to procure resources, is to secure the fittest man to reproduce with, is to continue to gather resources, to gather relationships, to develop her web of uh, of resources that she can rely upon, right? Because women by nature are weaker than men,
Mhm.
right? Men by nature, we are designed to build. We are designed to acquire. We are designed to conquer, but also we are designed to fix. We are designed to create equilibrium. You see, order from chaos. So a woman, part of a woman's game is to test to see if a man is competent enough to continue to bring order to her chaos. She could be the 92 octane, shout out to the master teacher BGS Itmore for the octane scale. She can be an educated woman, have her own car, have her own house, have a trust fund, have all of these things, the trappings of life, and she will still seek out a man who has the competence of a leader, who has the confidence of a creator, who
Mhm.
has the ability to show up in his masculine role. And the masculine role by default, the masculine role is that of authority. Now, this will be its own conversation in and of itself, right? But basically, what authority translates into is legitimate rulership, right? That is what authority is, legitimate rulership. And
Mhm.
a part of the way that a woman runs game is to legitimize that rulership.
Mhm.
Because if she is going to uh, assume her natural position as submissive or being subject to that authority, she has to validate and verify that authority, that leadership, that man
Mhm.
is legitimate. You see,
Yes. Yes.
shout out to Southern Purchase for the Sawbuck. He says, I run into troubles when women meet the women in my family. They realize my quote unquote game is probably sharper than theirs. Do you think women judge us by our female family members? Well, first of all, that is a nuanced question
Yeah.
because you have to be who you are in spite of your family. You
Yeah.
see, you can't help who your family is. You can
Mhm.
help how you respond to them. You can help how you seek out mentorship, coaching, and teaching from a mature, capable, competent, and masculine man who will guide you in your developmental process to become sovereign, to become the type of man who is unaffected by the female family members who may be embarrassing, right? So all in all, if a woman that you're pursuing is an honest woman, what I refer to as uh, in her feminine fidelity, right? She is going to look at your character on its face,
Yeah.
stand alone outside of the reputation of your family, because she knows that if you two join, you're starting your own family. You're starting your own legacy. You see, and your current family just represents an extension of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts on that, Ron?
No, I agree with you and stuff. I agree with you because you really got to worry about that. Most you can learn from your female family members is how to protect yourself. They might tell you some stuff, but
Mhm.
ultimately it's about you. It's
Yes,
about
indeed.
you. Yeah, don't worry about how these women looking at the other ones now. Hopefully, if you got the women in your family that'll let you know how to be out of trouble, that's good, but it's still you. Your main relationship is with yourself.
Absolutely.
So that's how you got to look at it.
And that is some of the uh, most important foundational advice that can be given by an OG in this thing that we call game. Now,
Mhm.
real quick. This is a topic that centers on the third section of my book, The Seduction Scriptures. Of course, you all have your copy of The Seduction Scriptures. Uh, if you can turn to page 38, because there starts this entire endeavor, this classroom about how women began to weave those webs with words, not only their words, but with their bodies.
Mhm.
In this section of the seduction scriptures, it is entitled Poisse Juice. You see how I did that? We have to, make sure that we get it under. We're right underneath there. We're almost there at the half hour mark, but we haven't crossed that line yet. So I'm going to say Poisse Juice. Now,
Mhm.
in this section, I go through the difference in magnitude of weaponry that women have at their disposal towards the average man. You
Yeah,
see,
hold on. Let me go get my copy. Keep talking, man.
no, absolutely, absolutely. And in this section of the seduction scriptures, I take my time and I detail how at a young age, young women start to observe the interactions between themselves and their peers, the other young men, and even older men. And to their teenage and college years, these young women are observing how what they wear can and will affect the the men around them. How just by their mere presence, let alone if they employ light makeup, lip gloss, right? If they put oil or lotion on those legs, right? Getting those toes did, right? Getting those manicures. See, understanding which colors complement their skin tone, right? All of this is happening as a part of their uh, natural feminine development, you see?
Mhm.
And to top it off, of course, in this section of my book, I am covering one of what used to be a closely held secret among women. You see, Ram? And that secret, it has to do with their scent.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm
All
gonna tell
right.
you. Look. Let me just say this. This is very powerful. Y'all need to get that book. Y'all need to get the seduction scriptures. Y'all need to study that because women, that's their power. They know how to use their sex appeal to get what they want because they know it. Because I think who was that? Who wrote the manipulated man? I think she said it in there. She called like women's makeup war paint.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they put on all their stuff, they put on their perfume, they know how to present their breastises and
Mm-hmm.
how they wearing their clothes. They know how to work it because they know a man's going to go for it. So you get some women, and I've met some women like that. They really know how to work that man. They know how to touch him. Like and I showed you the pictures of that one young lady.
Mm-hmm.
That Asian young lady, remember?
Oh
I
yeah.
remember she was telling me some stuff. I was trying to get her to come on.
Mm-hmm.
She was saying, "Yeah, you going out with the guy. There's only so many drinks you can take. How you going to talk with him? How you going to talk? How you going to touch him?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you what. That's their game. He telling y'all what's up. Y'all need to get that book and study that part. That's their secret. I don't care who the woman is. It's like when I see a woman, she dressed a certain way, she doing stuff. I say, okay, that's her power because It's one thing to know a man's mind, but see, they got that web now. They drawing you in. And sometimes, like I say, the most dangerous woman, she might just be sitting somewhere crossing her legs and stuff.
Mhm.
In fact,
Absolutely.
at a self-improvement summit, I told the women that. I said, y'all want a man, all you had to do is sit out on your porch and just cross your legs. That's all you need to do. And I mean, seriously, I don't remember. There was a particular job. I can't say what it was for,
Mhm.
but the woman was recruiting, and I happened to look at her legs. But I noticed how she crossed the legs and started presenting her thighs, and thick thighs save lives.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, she working me. I gave her that play. I said, damn, she worked me because I
Absolutely.
thought about it. She wanted some. She had an objective right there, getting some numbers or something. But
Isn't
she
it?
got me good. She knew it. She knew how to cross her legs, everything. And I'll just say she worked for an alphabet agency. I'll leave it at that.
Yes,
But
indeed.
they know that. These women, they know that. In fact, these intelligence agencies, when they have a woman working for them in one
Mm.
form or another, they know how to tap in. They be running some game,
Mhm.
how they dress, how they doing whatever. One of my fun things to do is watch how these women are hunting out here because they like that Venus fly trap. They gonna draw you to them when they hunt. They ain't going out saying, hey dude, you's a big fine man, won't you stick your thing in? They gonna have it so you gonna come right to them.
Yes, indeed.
I
And
mean,
shout out.
go
Now
ahead.
go for it.
Now, I was just going to say that's their game. And it's powerful when you think about it. It's
It
powerful when you think about it because even pimps, when they shoot, they'll teach the women that if the women don't already know that, sometimes the women already know. Sometimes they might have to teach them. But another pimp, I can't. This dude, not Pimp Jeezy, but another pimp, he was saying that he was saying he was teaching the women how to like get money from a man, how to sit on his lap, how to do all that stuff. And part of that is
absolutely.
how they dress. I mean, you got whole industries out here. You notice with all the stuff about the economics, you ain't hearing nothing about the perfume industry having any problems, the makeup industry. Haven't you noticed that? You ain't here. Only time you hear one of these businesses get in trouble is when another business just do it better.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And speaking of which, shout out to
It's hard out here for a pimp.
absolutely what's good with it, PGZ. At any time that you are more than welcome to slide through. Right now, you're holding it down in the comment section. We understand that in these times, modern technology is not perfect. However, we do appreciate your participation in tonight's conversation. But absolutely, when we talk about the level of advanced technology, as I put it in my book, The Seduction Scriptures, particularly in section 3, where I'm talking about the methods that are used, in particular, the way in which women, young women, middle-aged women, older women employ their body's natural
Mm, ooh,
essence, okay, combining the pheromonal output,
whew,
okay, that comes from erogenous zones with
mhm.
a signature
Oh,
perfume. Now, of course, those who have their uh, their copies or their bottles of the signature scent of seduction, Enchanté, the ASP Holy Ghost understands what it means to have a signature fragrance as a man. But imagine an 18-year-old young lady, right, at the beginning of the peak of her youth, beauty, and fertility, applying a scent that not only complements her natural body's chemistry, but enhances
oh
her
man.
pheromonal output. You
Man, I
see?
got a couple stories about that, man.
Absolutely.
I got a couple stories
So,
about
so
that.
there and please let's definitely be indulged with these stories, but even
Man.
scientists have studied and researched this phenomenon of the pheromonal output of both women and men. It is so powerful that it has the capacity to put the opposite sex in a hypnotic state, which is
Oof.
why you have the opportunity to grab the ASP Holy Ghost.
Man. But I'm gonna tell you what though,
Go
man.
for it,
I'm gonna
Ron.
tell
Go
you
for it.
what, because I think, well, okay, one was this young lady I worked with on one of my 1,000 jobs. I ain't had 10,000 like you, but one of my 1,000 jobs, and she had a scent on that just said her. It
Mhm,
was totally, and she had it made by this perfumer.
mhm.
This guy, he made something specifically for her body chemistry, and it just said her. It was perfect on her, right? That's one. And then I remember on this another job I had, it was this older lady. She was in her 50s. And man, she was sexy as hell.
Mhm.
How she dressed up, how she put herself together, how she smiled at young men. I mean, even though she was married, she had the young men in this place, including myself, wrapped around her finger. And how she would wear her stuff, her perfume. I mean, she came in totally fixed up, and she could get us to do whatever. And we would just do it with a smile. But see, she knew how to fix up, and we knew her. I mean, we had nothing but respect for her husband because he said, "Man, that must be a good, that must be a happy ass dude."
Yes, indeed.
Seriously. But that's a power because that's one of the things these women will have something on, and sometimes you might not even notice it.
Mhm.
You might not even notice it. And you might be like, "Oh, snap, wait a minute. Oh, shoot." Shoot, because even when a man's wearing something, I always talk about when Issa Rae said that. She said one time, she said, "A good smelling man make you rethink his attractiveness.
Mhm,
He can look average or something." And in fact, that's when may he rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. That's how he started out, just talking
mhm.
about colognes and stuff. Some
Exactly.
dudes didn't get that, but see, you got to have it. Shoot. In fact, this one metaphysician, he had said that's why in Islamic countries they cover their noses.
Mm.
Now, I haven't been able to find that otherwise. That's what he said.
Mhm,
Haven't been able to find information to that otherwise, but it makes sense.
mhm.
That is powerful. Don't then that and shoot, women they know that. That's why shoot that's like you because I one of the places I worked was a department store, and one of the main sections was the perfume section.
Okay.
That was one of the main sections, and trust me, and I had some friends working in that section. They throw on some of that stuff to advertise it. Trust me, it turned up their sex appeal. It turned up. You smell it, you be like, God damn, come here, girl.
And keep
Yeah, let's head back here. Don't you need help with me to get something out of the storage room? Shit,
yes,
it's
indeed.
powerful.
And keep in mind, we're just talking about the excitation, as they call it, how
Mm,
women arouse the senses of a
mhm,
man. We haven't even touched upon the mental aspect of it
yeah,
just yet. We're still stuck on the visual, how
yeah,
she selects just the right piece of clothing to accentuate her curves.
yes.
How she
Whatever
go
her
for it.
body is, whatever her
Absolutely.
body is. I mean, that's
Short, tall,
important.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, because I don't have to explain body game to women. They know it. They know it. If they got those nice, like if they know they got those nice breastises, they make sure everybody know it. Or if they got those nice legs or they got those thick thighs which save lives, they make sure everybody know it. Whatever it is. If they want to get somebody, they know how to use it. If for whatever reason they don't want to be bothered that day, they know how to hide it too.
Yes, baggy
So,
clothes.
but they know the power of it. Like this woman I know, she knew the power of it when she hit puberty. I mean, she said like when she was 12, didn't get any attention from guys, but then over that summer she put on a booty and she said she got 11 guys. She knew it. And
Mhm.
she wasn't even getting game like that. But women, they know that's part of their seduction. That's how they run game. That's how they get it. Because think about it though. If a man is really, if we just doing our thing, we probably wouldn't be drawn into a relationship with these women. So, we probably the most we do is hit it, probably wouldn't even do that much. So they figured out their tricks to get us into their agenda, their family agenda or whatever they trying to get. And
Yes.
don't let me talk about the ones that, are true to the game gold diggers. They really know how to work it. And I ain't talking
Indeed.
about some of these guys thinking they getting some gold diggers like trying to get a little bit of money. True to the game gold diggers, they go for those millionaires or something. And and trust me, they'll know how to dress a certain way, look a certain way, smell a certain way, and still know how to make love to his mind.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Sovereign James. We appreciate that. The Fan Plus Fidia says, "Where can I book a consultation with you, cousin T?" Well, absolutely. I'll post the email address in the chat very shortly, but just shoot me an email and we can get that started. Yes, when we talk about the difference, once again, I want to make sure that we um, reiterate the difference between
Mhm.
how a woman runs game
Mhm.
and how a player applies the art of ism.
Mhm.
Okay, a woman runs game so that she can be benefited from it,
Yes, she
right?
she
So
looking
she can
yeah, she doing it for herself.
exactly.
Cause
And
I mean, I'm gonna
go
tell
ahead.
you what, man, just real quick.
Mhm.
Don't think any of these women ain't. I've known some women, they in their 70s now, and they tell me, no, everything the women do is for themselves. They are just totally selfish. Don't ever think it. If you have a woman on your team, make sure whatever your plan is, she wants that plan too. Women are selfish. They look for their own needs.
And
Don't
this
get
is
that twisted.
let's be clear though, this is by design,
Yeah.
right? They have the capacity to gestate life, you see?
Yes.
And so they have to be able to procure the sustenance, the nutrients, the
Mhm.
sheltering, right? To be able to protect that life during
Mhm.
the gestation process.
Mhm.
So there is out of necessity, a driver for them to seek opportunities to benefit themselves because
Mhm.
uh, what they ultimately are targeting
Mhm.
is the ability to nest, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
To put themselves in a position to bring life through their matrix. Shout out to Ron for pointing that out in one of our in one of those webinars, right? Well, a
Mhm.
lot of people don't realize that the word matrix
Mhm.
is Italian for womb. You see,
Mhm.
but that's a whole other conversation for another
I'm
day.
gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what. That shit. That is a whole other conversation because even the concept of the imprint is deeper than what I've presented so far all these years. So, but that's a whole other conversation. But trust me, women are thinking about that. They thinking about that because if you really look at the woman's main thing is to bring life. Life come through her. I don't care. I mean, yeah, you got some scientists trying to create some artificial wombs and all of that stuff, but until that point, life comes through a woman. They decide which human genes go into the future, which ones don't. It's powerful when you think about it, and they
Correct.
are ruthless about it. They are ruthless. I mean, even if you even it's been studied that only 40% of men will present their genes and will have their genes go into the future.
Right.
That's why I say it is a big deal if a man even has children. Women are
Yes.
ruthless, and they even more that gets in shoot that gets into some political discussion because You know, you got many groups out here complaining about the birth population thing. I was like, "Psh, women don't want to have those babies.
Right.
Trust me, if you trust me, the women are ruthless. If given their own freedom, they're only going to have sex with certain men, and they're going to do what they can to get those men. You know?
These are facts. These are facts, including cover up the fact that they got with those men while they're with the type of men who are in that provider role.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 That's why I say paternity testing should be like mandatory.
No, absolutely.
It should be mandatory because women are ruthless, but it really comes down to which genes going into the future, and then how that baby's being taken care of, everything. And everything is a woman said it to me. She said a man either has to have sex appeal or nest appeal, preferably both. But he
Right.
has to have both. They prefer they look for those two things, one or the other, preferably both in a man. And
It's
if they can't get both, they will get one and then get the other. That's why you get some women out here, get they'll have a sex appeal, have sex with that one man, but then marry that other man to raise the child.
yes. And again, we are talking about nature. We are talking about nature and the human adaptation to nature. Shout out to you.
Brother Ken.
Shout out to you, Kenneth Young, saying this is graduate level game. Absolutely. And guess what? We're just getting started. When we
Yeah.
talk about the levels and the ways in which uh, the way women run game is not only a woven web of their words with
Mhm.
their feminine wiles, with
Mhm.
their ability to network and
Mhm.
put connections together to procure resources and opportunities and mobility.
Mhm.
Her ability to get men to do what she wants them to do at a particular point in time is a part of how women run game.
Oh yeah.
This
Eh,
go ahead, Ron.
well, no, I was just gonna say, and this is very important. This ain't just something to get mad at. This is just a woman's nature because their whole thing is it goes beyond just getting some money or something like that. We talking about humanity. We talking about what they supposed to do. It's programmed in them. That's why, like, just the other day at the store, I saw a mother and her child. Like one was pushing a baby carriage, but the child, she had to be maybe 3 or 4. She pushing something with a bear in it. She already learning about that motherhood or something. She already learning that game. She's already learning that game right there. So at some point she gonna want a real baby. And in fact, my co-parent, she was working at a gym and she was telling me how these all these young girls were telling her about the type of men that they wanted to have babies with.
Mhm.
I mean, seriously, it goes beyond like just some ordinary just manipulation or something. I mean, it's cold blooded sometimes, and they might not even use the word. We'll use the word game, but they might not even use the word game. It's just a natural thing for them.
Mhm.
And see, a man got to say, he got to really learn where he stands with this and how to
Mhm.
use it to his advantage
Mhm.
and not be used. And, what position, how does a woman see him? Does she see him as that potential father or she see him as that potential guy to raise the children? If she don't see either one, she's not likely to mess with him.
Right.
Because if you look at when I talk about select and non-select, the guys who are select, the Mr. Good bars and the mass men, one has that total sex appeal, one has that money. So one can take care of the children, take care of resources, take care of all that. The other one can knock her brains out. And if you listen to women how they talk, if you ever talk with women, that's how they dealing with some men. Some men they just want to fuck. and that's what they'll get from that man. They figured out how to get it. Some men they want to get maybe just those resources out of.
Yes.
So you know.
And let's be honest, when we talk about when there are conversations about quote unquote having it all, uh, these elements that Ram just presented factor into that.
Mm,
There's no one man that has all of those things, because when we refer to psychotherapists such as Esther Perel, she's very famous for mentioning or reminding people that at smaller scales, society used to be villages and tribes. So
mhm,
all of those needs that Ram just listed off would be handled by multiple people, not just expected by one person. Okay,
mhm,
that's a modern phenomenon, right?
mhm,
And shout out to Pimp God. He says this:
mhm,
there is also intrigue appeal. Men who are not necessarily attractive to most women can introduce intrigue in women simply
mhm.
by seeing certain men constantly with beautiful women. Absolutely.
Man, Pimp God. Well, see, one thing, man, we gotta get Pimp God up in here, man. We gotta fix that because Pimp God take it to and trust me, this brother, y'all need to sub him because he takes things to that whole other level. He's right about that because if they see this man with all these beautiful women, all of a sudden they say, "Damn, what he got? What he got?" They thinking about it, and that's very powerful. That
Right.
is that's very powerful. That's why let me hit it. Like I said, I've talked about that whole friend zone thing.
Hmm.
It's not a bad thing if she's a beautiful woman. You just turn her into a wing woman.
Right.
If she's beautiful, you just hanging out with her. All of a sudden, other women gonna be questioning.
Hmm.
Like I remember, I was at a writers conference with well, she my co-parent now, but we were married at the time,
Hmm.
and I mean, and man, she had this. She had we had went to dinner with this dress that we call Super Money Maker, right? And but she didn't want to go to there was like this after party type of thing and stuff. Man, these women, after seeing her not there, they were ultra friendly because they saw her.
Hmm.
And I was bigger than I am now. And but these women like, hey, 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 they were intrigued. They were like, well, damn, if he got her, what's up? What he got?
Absolutely. And that appeal, that
Mhm,
intrigue, um, translates into so many uh, dynamics.
mhm,
For example, the use of the intrigue factor from a
mhm,
man's perspective. Just going by the example of surrounding yourself with beautiful women, uh,
mhm,
the average man doesn't realize how simple that is. It's
mhm,
difficult when you don't know what you're doing. It's simple. It's difficult when you don't have game, right?
mhm,
It's difficult when you've not seen it modeled by a masculine mentor, right?
mhm,
But surrounding yourself with beautiful women is relatively simple. You know
mhm,
why? And I say this a lot on the Patreon side when we talk about mentoring a PYT or a pretty young thing.
mhm,
When men ask about how do you get a pretty young thing or a nice beautiful woman to approach you, I say it's simple. She's the one that's looking for mentorship.
mhm,
She's the one who's seeking out a man who is knowledgeable, a man who is
mhm,
experienced, because she wants to know what it feels like to be uh, drawn in by a man's intellect. She wants to
mhm.
know what it's like to be with a man who is talented and can show her things that men her age have no clue
Hey,
even exist, right?
boom, 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 boom. Because I remember a young woman did that. She looked me dead in the eye just before we got it going. She said, "I just want to learn from you." She looked up at me and she said, I just want to learn from you." See, I'm gonna tell you something now. These women out here, they can get a man, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. The thing is, and this is a whole other conversation. This just a real quick tangent. A lot of men don't realize how easy these women are to get, but one of the keys to it is, as a man, you got to develop yourself. No matter what type of what kind of game the woman trying to run, no matter what she doing, you run yourself. The women gonna come to you.
Yes.
The women gonna come to you no matter what.
Yes, they're out for the opportunity, and
Yeah.
that's why we say we present them with the opportunity to have
Mhm.
an interesting and exciting, a once in a lifetime exchange of orgasm, exchange of experiences, exchange of wisdom and knowledge base, right?
Mhm.
And a an opportunity for mentorship in the case of a PYT. Now, somebody mentioned something very interesting, and this is just a brief tangent before we get back to how women run game. This person mentioned "Marry the Nerd." Ram, are you familiar with that video that's been going around? Where
You know what? I think I've seen that.
let me
A
see if I
woman
can pull
said,
that up.
"Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. I saw that video. A woman said, yeah, she used to mess with certain type of guys, but now she married that nerd or something." But sometimes you gotta be careful with that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Sometimes a woman, she done had her party, did her stuff, then she want that guy she can chill with. But what I would tell that guy, unless she absolutely wants him, and unless she absolutely turned on by him, double back home one day. I would say that, no matter what she's saying. What you got to say to that?
No, absolutely double back home. And
Mhm.
let's see. Let me see if I can. There we go. I think this
Alright.
is the video that we were talking about here. Hold on. Let's see. All right. It should be coming up. There you go. All
Oh
right.
yeah, yeah,
Let me
yeah.
make sure. The doubling back home thing for the naive man, the trusting man, the green man who doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily understand or has been exposed to how true female nature works, right?
Mhm.
Now let me see if we can play this real quick. I think it's relatively
That's the woman.
short. Right. Let me see. Here you go.
Wait a minute, just gotta get that sound. I remember that video.
You hear that?
Nah.
Okay. All right. We'll try that again at some other time. But basically, that's the video I think that the person was
Yeah,
referencing.
that was the video. Yeah, yeah,
So
but
real
you
quick.
gotta watch. I would just say watch that. Like you can be that nerd or something. I mean, that's cool if that's you. But be careful of the woman selling for you no matter what. You don't even necessarily have to be the nerd. You can just be that money man or something like that. Just be very concerned. Be
Right.
very concerned because you got a lot of women practicing that dual mating strategy because that can be part of the game they run too. Because there's been plenty of women, and I've met them too. They'll
Mhm.
deal with that guy who give them that ring, be that good husband. But that my bad situation ain't something I was just making up out of the blue. That my bad situation happened to somebody with somebody I knew.
Mm.
That actually happened. So it was like, yeah, I be joking about it and stuff, but I ain't making it up either. So you got to watch it. And you get some women, they'll do that. You get some young women, they'll do that. In fact, that's something generally known and talked about, alpha fucks, beta bucks, right?
Mhm.
Stuff like that. But see, you got to watch that. See, and that's a calculation too. That's a game some women will run too. They have all their fun, but keep that nerd on standby. And see, the nerd might be thinking he getting that woman, but see, what is he really waiting for? Is he waiting for her because that's a good woman or because she beautiful? She knew how to do it. He wants that real beautiful woman because that's part of her game too. She keep her sex appeal up. A lot of guys think that woman might hit the wall, but she really don't. She's still hitting the gym. She's still making sure her breasts are perky. She
Yes.
making sure she hitting that perfume, and
Yes.
she'll weave it, and she'll weave that mind. She will tell him, she'll look at him and say, "Oh, okay, you want this innocent woman? Let me pretend like I'm innocent." You know? Let me talk to him in
Absolutely.
such a way like, yeah, I ain't been dealing with some of these bad boys. I ain't been dealing with Pookie and Ray Ray or Tyrone and them or
Mm.
Rom or, cousin Tito.
Be a player for life. So where's my wife?
Listen. Y'all got Rom going today, boy. You got
Oh man.
listen, y'all got him
Yeah.
started. Listen,
Yeah.
he done
Go ahead, man.
Rom done touched on a few topics that we're gonna have full conversations about in the near future, particularly the conversation covering why nice guys finish last. Now, of course, everybody in the audience and within the sound of my voice has their copy of Nice Guys and Players. But when we have the conversation regarding why nice guys finish last,
Mm-hmm.
Rom is going to reach deep into his bag for that one.
Oh
So,
man,
so
I'm gonna
y'all
tell
want to
you
be
what. See, here's the problem. Let me just say that, and that's really part of the game women run on them
Mhm.
because the nice guys he believed the bullshit. He believed the
Mm.
bullshit. But see, a lot of times when I look at a woman, and there's been times women try to act innocent with me, and I would look them dead in the eye and say, "Hold up, don't pretend they're innocent." Like I always talk about that one time I'm messing a woman, she trying to act all innocent with me, and we sat up by mutual friends, and I'm bringing her back over to my place, and she acting all innocent. I say, "Look, you don't have to act all innocent. Why tell us that?" And then that night I had several bite marks on me.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
She trying to
indeed.
act all innocent. She was ready for it, and we had just met because what I do, see, I understand it, but see, I don't judge their whatever if they gonna be a freak, I let them be
Mhm.
a freak.
Yes, indeed.
See, then that's the game right there. That's a game. A lot of guys, see, you got a lot of guys, they want Miss Innocent. It was like, nah, I'd rather see the freak. I'd rather
Yes,
deal with the freak. That don't mean you have to marry. You only had to marry her once. And even if you married a freak, at least know she a freak.
you better
Don't try
know.
to pretend she's super innocent or something, but then want her off the chandelier. If she coming off the chandelier, she probably ain't a freak. So, you want her coming off the chandelier doing all this stuff, having her butt waving in the air and shit. But don't
Yes.
don't be trying to act like she all innocent and all of that.
Right.
Knowing you want her to vacuum cleaning your motherfucking dick.
Yes,
Shoot,
indeed.
I had this one woman vacuum cleaning my shit and then preach a sermon at night because she was a minister. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, speaking
That's
of
the
which,
thing, man. Yeah, don't do.
shout out to Kenneth Young real quick. He says, since I've been listening and watching you Masters of Game, I have started observing women at church and how they
Oh
move and execute their game
man,
on
they get
the
man.
game.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. There was this woman, and I still got the paperwork. I interviewed her for. We had maybe a 3-4 hour conversation. I was just taking notes. She was hitting me with some stuff, and she had been a former first lady of a church.
Hmm.
And I mean, trust me, they be having some game. They be having some game. In fact, when I first started selling my book, Nice Guys and Players, some
Hmm.
of the first men to buy the books were ministers. They know what's up. You talk to some ministers. Have you, like cousin Tito, have you noticed for all the stuff we do, we haven't had any ministers come against us? Say I'm a minister of a church. They know. They be shaking their
Listen.
head. They be like, shh. They probably be like, shh, shh, don't say anything, man. Don't say
Absolutely.
anything. They be running games. Shoot, you go to those churches, you got those women sitting in the front row with those modesty things on. In
Mhm.
fact, I'd never forget when I was younger, I was driving past this church on a Sunday morning. I saw all these women coming out. I almost joined. It looked like they're coming out of a nightclub. I was like, hold up, wait a minute.
Right. Yeah, the handkerchief, the modesty handkerchief, they put that on their lap. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to Gym Codes.
What's poppin', twin?
Good morning from Nigeria. Great to have you. Absolutely. Shout out.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp.
Listen.
Oh, see, the pimp god, man,
Absolutely.
those technical, why we got those technical issues, man. I love to hear him talk about, because he's right. Yeah, they mirror those
Yeah.
men until men fall for the mask. They present whatever that man's presenting, and
Yes.
then the man will fall for it, and he ain't thinking anything, but that woman, she playing it. Cause I'm gonna tell you something with women now, man, and y'all gotta understand this. They study us. They paying attention. They paying attention, because I guarantee we probably got we always got some women like checking out these channels. We
Yes,
always
indeed.
got some women. And
Oh, yeah.
cousin Tito, I've shown you some pics of some women who I know checking them out. In fact, and they find this shit.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they watching and talking about, yeah, we like this or something. Shoot, gotten with plenty who might have just been checking out my channel. But they know. Women know. They know us. Because every now and then you get some women trying to like maybe try to come against us or something. But usually that's because we just like caught them on one of their games and shit, right?
But let's unpack what PG just mentioned right here. It says a major game of
Yeah.
women is the mirroring game. Women are masters, yes, masters of
Yes.
mirroring various men until those men fall for the mask. Now, let's be clear. When we instruct men who are looking to enter into their player stage, playerdom, if you would. When we talk about a select man's roster, women qualify for various positions on that roster. And depending on the value that she brings to him, to his mission, to his space, to his world, she is placed accordingly. That's why not just any woman that a man meets qualifies for the highest level of first lady on the man's roster. She has to show and prove and promote herself through the various levels of his roster. So taking what PG just said, if you've got a woman in the position of PYT, which is the lowest, or auntie, right, which are the lower levels of your roster, what is it that they're going to be able to mirror? They're only going to be able to mirror the attributes of that position. Meaning, when you have a PYT on your roster in position, she is in the position of a mentee. Meaning, she is in the position of someone who is receiving instruction. She is in the position of someone who is receiving wisdom. She is in a position of someone who is taking notes, taking in the information that is being presented by you, the leader. So, in essence, what can a woman who is in that position mirror to you, right? She can only mirror what you've taught her. And you, as the mentor, you, as the leader, always know that there's another level to it. So you recognize that, one, hopefully she's receiving and reflecting and applying this ism that you're presenting her with. But also, if she's attempting to use that in an effort to run game on you, there's only so far she can go. Why? Because she's not in a position to impact you in a way that throws you off your square. That's just one example, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, go ahead and clap. Hey, let me say something real quick. Let me say something real quick before you go on.
Mhm.
Look, I know we got some women in here. Go ahead, baby girl. Go ahead, let us know you in the house. We ain't gonna jump on you. We ain't gonna attack you. I'm
Oh,
just curious. I
welcome.
want to know how
Welcome
many
in.
young. Yeah, welcome in. Look, we love you. We ain't trying to start anything, but look, at the same time, some of your sisters are just going rough. We trying to do it, but we know y'all paying attention to everything we saying. So go ahead and say, just put a one, say hi, how you doing, something like that. All right. You don't be slick with us. We ain't gonna hurt you. We ain't gonna jump you. And
That's
we
it.
we because I mean, in a couple hours, there's only so much we can give away anyway.
These are facts. These are facts, but these are usually action packed, nutritious hours of this ism. Absolutely, Danny. P23. Get the likes up, like, share, subscribe. Definitely forward this live to someone that you know can benefit from this ism. So, Ron, we've talked about how women project. They project
Mhm,
youth, beauty, and innocence, right? And
mhm,
how they protect their past. They
mhm, mhm,
they protect their purity. Remember, you and I have the conversation about purity.
mhm,
Purity does not equate to virginity. Purity
mhm,
does not equate to their posse. Okay,
mhm,
their purity and their reputation. How about how women deflect? Right?
mhm,
They deflect direct questions and
mhm,
allegations.
mhm.
What are
Oh,
your thoughts on how they do that in terms of running
oh
game?
man. Man, they slick with that because see, one of the things with it, they'll deflect because deep down the man don't want to hear the truth from them. So it's
Mm.
easy for him to deflect. So, the guy might be like, "Hey, did you used to mess with that bad boy in the past?" And I'm like, "Who you talking about?" Or, "Nah, I ain't do that," or "He did something." Because deep down, the man wants to hear that. He wants to think she innocent. So it's not easy. And I'm gonna tell you something with women. One of the things I remember, and this was said in Mission Impossible too. I never forget this statement because there was a character in there. I think it was played by Thandie Newton, right?
Mhm.
And Anthony Hopkins wanted her to be a spy.
Mm.
And Tom Cruise, being the man, he was like, "How can she be a spy?" She said, and Anthony Hopkins was like, "She a woman. She know how to lie." So it's like,
Yes, indeed.
look, and it's easy for them to deflect because deep down the man wants to believe no matter what she say. That's the key. He wants her to say what's up, and she will play it that way. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
she had that train run, but and that dude was told by somebody she had that train run, but she'll find a way to deflect it if you approach her about it. Because deep down, the man don't want to believe she had that train run. So he'll believe anything. And I mean, women will do whatever. If necessary, they even cry, like, why are you even asking this?
Mm. Mhm.
They'll do whatever. But
Yes.
that's part of the thing, because you're looking at those fat thighs, which save lives. I mean, you looking at that, you smelling that perfume and stuff, and shoot, she already weaved that web with her words. Anyway,
Now,
she's setting you up for it. She set you up for it, and so you just want to believe it anyway. So it's easy for her to deflect and get you talking about something else because deep down, that's what you want. Because your joint's still hard looking at her. You want to be there. You want all that. So it's easy for her to say whatever because you want to believe her.
right.
You
Absolutely.
want to, and that's
And
that's what it is. That's what it come down to.
and
So it's easy for her to deflect, and all she had to do is be sincere. And like surprise, surprise, women can lie about stuff. Surprise,
women,
surprise.
yes. And Rom just set it up. Rom just set it up absolutely brilliantly. He said that men want to believe
Yes.
that they're innocent. Men
Yeah.
want to believe a woman when she lies. Men want to follow the deflections. and how women try to beat the allegations.
Yeah.
Part of Rom and myself and Pimp God's role as masculine mentors is to help men to unpack why most men, the average man, wants to believe the lies,
Yeah. What?
wants to have a woman or allow a woman to run game on them. And before you get to your position on this, Rom, I'm going to say this real quick because you set that up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
The average man wants to believe a woman when she lies because he can't handle the truth. And he
Yeah.
can't handle the truth because he's inexperienced. And
Yeah.
he's inexperienced because he believed what society told him he should be, right? When
Oh,
Ram and myself have the conversation covering why nice guys finish last, everybody make sure that you get your copy of Nice Guys and Players before we have that conversation in the near future. But when we have that conversation, part of that conversation has to do with how men are conditioned to fall for the lies. Men are conditioned at many positions or many areas of influence externally by the media, by movies, by
yeah.
songs,
Yes.
by
Yes. Exactly.
poems, by
Uh-huh.
literature, by popular culture, by family, and the cherry on top is by the type of woman who he is incapable of leading. Let me say that again for everybody who missed it. A man is conditioned by everything in society, everything that is around him, including his religion. But the cherry on top is that he is conditioned by the woman that he is incapable of leading. Ram, why is this man incapable of leading the type of woman that he wants to lie to him about her past?
Well, he hasn't really developed himself. He hasn't developed his masculine mastery.
Yes, indeed.
He hasn't got to the point. See, that's why, on my channel, like I don't really go in on women. And some guys wonder why. I say, no, my channel is more about the man developing himself. He got to develop himself. He got to develop himself in a position to do the things that he want to do. He got to be more focused on his mission. His main relationship is with himself. But in order for him to be focused on himself, he got to be focused on leading that. And in fact, women, they want that in a man. They want that man who can lead. But if he can't, they just say, "Oh, okay, I'll use him for what I can." But
Absolutely.
you don't want that. And and just to piggyback, because I was thinking about how come I ain't never really get played. I was raised around. Yeah, I used to live in Southeast DC. Pimp God knows where that is. And I was around some women who were straight up playmen, but they like me, so they would tell me some stuff, and including my mother. May she rest in peace. But
Hmm.
she was telling me, she was giving me some game from the time I was little, and I
Yes.
was seeing a lot of stuff. And that's why, if a woman come up and, like, let's use that body count thing. If a woman tell me 5, I'm like, yeah, okay. Then later on, I lost count of how many women they tell me, like, give me a number, and then when they realize I don't really give a shit, all of a sudden
Hmm.
that number increases. That's why I
Yes.
always say, if a woman tell you 5, always add 5 to it. Always add 5. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, she said 5. Oh, okay, 10. You don't worry about it. That's why I
Yeah.
say you only worry about that one man in her past, because like you always say, sex is like a handshake for women. It don't
Yes,
matter how
indeed.
many men she slept with. All it matters is that one man that she got a heart for, and she might not have slept with. She
Yes.
might not have slept with him. Like I always use the example from that book by Sister Soldier, The Coldest Winter Ever. Like that whole series, Winter, that character Winter going crazy over Midnight, but she never had sex with him.
Right.
Midnight don't even want her, but she's still pressed about him. That's the only man you should worry about. Of course, that's another conversation too. But see, some guys, they want that innocent virgin and all of that, and the women will play right into it. Women will play
And
right into it, and they will get that guy. And it was just like, man, please, if she is whatever, let her be free, whatever. No matter what she say, don't say anything, and then they will tell you some stuff no matter what they say. Because I mean, there's been conversations I would have with women, and they would be closed off at first,
mm-hmm,
acting all innocent, but I get them nice and comfortable.
mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, they start hitting me with some stuff when they realize I ain't tripping. They be telling me, "Oh yeah, yeah, I slept with this I slept with this woman. Oh yeah, I want this group sex. I want to do this. I've been with this many men." And I'd
Right.
be like, "Whatever." I'd be like this. I'd be like, "Yeah, okay." If I'm in their presence and stuff, I say, "Yeah, that's cool. You gonna eat that buffalo wing right there?" Just like,
Look,
whatever.
I
LeBron.
be a player for life. So where's the wife?
Don't worry about it, man. It was like, look, I don't worry about all that. Because see, here's the thing, and this is just game in general. You gotta get that woman comfortable. You get that woman comfortable, you can have sex with her without even bringing up sex. I lost count of how many women I probably got with, and I never brought up sex. I never said, "Oh, let's have sex" or something like this. The most I might say was, "Let's go back to my place."
Right.
Like I remember this one woman I was dealing with a few years ago. That was some
Mm-hmm.
good ass pussy though. But I remember we went to dinner someplace. We were just talking, and I never forget it. I said, "Why don't we go back to my place?" I ain't say let's have sex or anything. And I never forget. She took a sip of her coffee. She paid the bill. Boom, boom, boom. Went back to my place. Boom, boom, boom for a few years and shit.
That's it.
So it was like, you just get them comfortable.
And
Like just because remember what I always say, women they want to have that sex, but see, understand their game and what they doing. See, I understand one thing with women, they want to get that hot beef injection no matter what. And if you listening to what I'm saying on my channels, whatever I'm saying, I'm telling you how to get it. But see, a lot of guys they want that deflection. They want that fantasy. Like brother Tristan said, yeah, most men are in that fantasy, and like the pimp guys say, that deflection works best on men who are imagining what's up with these women. It was like, nah, man, just go with it. You don't judge them. I don't care what they look like. Cause some of the women who will give it up to you the deepest on some more freaky shit, look innocent as shit. There's some of those sexy librarians and shit.
mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And let's be clear. Let's be clear. Um, in concert with what Pimp God just said,
You know it's hard out here for a pimp.
says deflection works best on those men who imagine women over straight up observing
Real
them.
talk, real
So
talk.
we're talking about leadership really quick. This
Mhm.
is really critical. I need everybody to listen really, really, really intently right now. Because when we talk about leadership, the definition of a leader is the one who knows where we're going.
Mhm.
And this is why most men want women to lie to them
Mhm.
because they don't know where they're going.
Mm.
So they are
Mm.
not capable of leading. You see? We'll say that
Mm.
again. we'll say that again and slow it
Yes,
down.
say it again, slow it down and hit that clapping afterwards. Shoot, hit the
Absolutely.
ASP Holy Ghost afterward. Y'all better pay attention to this part. You listening right now, or you listening on this replay? Listen, say it again for us, cousin T Talk.
Most men, most game goofy men who are not gamed up, who don't have a masculine mentor, men who, according to Pimp God, allow the deflection to work on them because they imagine women over straight up observing them. They are incapable of leading. And the woman who he wants to lie to him, she knows it
Mm-hmm.
because a leader is the one who knows where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he is incapable of leadership because he doesn't know. And in order to know where you're going, you have to know the truth. You
Mm-hmm.
see that? A
Mm-hmm.
lie and leadership are incompatible. So when she knows that she's capable of running game on you,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, she knows that you are not a leader.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, yeah, dope one. Man, that's powerful. That's powerful. And see, I'm gonna tell you what though. Let's be real. Only a few men out there. You got only a small percentage of men who are like myself, like yourself, cousin T-Tar, like the Honorable Pimp God. Really just a few men out there who really understand that. But here's the funny thing: women respect that. Women respect that because we seeing how women really are. We accept them how they are. That's how men like us get into the shadow world because we
Absolutely.
ain't tripping. That's why we can always get something. That's why I've said several times, if I wanted to be that dirty Mac, I could have married women over here all the time because I already see what's up. Because I already
Mhm.
know what's up. I already know what they trying to do, no matter what. Because I understand who they going to talk to, no matter what. Even if they got that big old ring on their finger, what they down for. Because as the Honorable Pimp God would say, I ain't imagining anything like, oh, they're going to be good. I'm straight up paying attention to their behavior. I'm paying attention. I'm observing them. You
Right.
know, we know what's up, and actually the women respect that. They actually, I'm gonna tell you something with women. Deep down, they really wish more men would just accept them as they are. Free the women, because once you free the women, they handing you the 90.
Yes. And
They
control.
giving it to you. They giving it to you. They want you to have it.
Mhm.
Shoot, you can get what you want. You say what you want. You get more 90 than you know what you can deal with.
Yes. That is a
I
fact.
mean, look, I'm a 61-year-old man, but if all I did was felt like getting on airplanes or felt like flying them out, got more women than I know what to have time to deal with.
Yes.
And that's because they listening to what I'm saying. They like, oh, I can be straight up with you. I've had some women tell me that because they say some stuff and I just joke with them. I say, why are you saying that around me? Say, you can handle it, bro. It's like, okay.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
But I
indeed.
can. I can. Because
Right?
I don't imagine it. That's one thing. Because the Honorable Pimp God said it best. I don't imagine what women are. I see what they are. But see, at the same time, I don't get mad. I just accept it for what it is.
Yes.
I,
You're
I just
receiving information.
yeah, that's it. It's like shit. And to me, because some guys want to act like some women innocent out here, and I'm like, for what? I'm trying to get some pussy. Shit. I shoot. I want to know what they going to do.
Right.
I want
Yeah,
to know what they going to do. Shoot, and you guys be going crazy over. I already know.
right.
And
And
like I'm kind of retired. Instead of having 10, I only have a few. Only have a few. Y'all I only keep a
uh,
few.
not 10.
And
Okay.
no, I don't need that many anymore. I'm older and stuff, man. But I keep a few. But the thing is, I can talk to them. I can. Like one of them, well, at least one of them, probably the other one too. I can tell them I'm dealing with some other women. In fact, they'll ask and they know, and they'll still come down and suck the fuck out my dick.
Mhm. Yes,
Well, it's
indeed.
like whatever, because they know, because I'm free with them too. I'm
Right.
free. I know how they are, and you'd be surprised. These ain't like just some like women in the hood or something like that, or some trashy women. Because I don't care where the woman is. She could be like that trashy woman. She could also be that corporate woman, that high class woman. She still want to get down too.
Yes.
They still want to get down, you know? So it's like you just accept that, except they want to have sex. Shoot, if a woman walk out her door any morning and she don't get any attention from men, she might come back and might be calling her therapist. Hell, she
Mm.
probably be calling her therapist on her way back home during the day. It's like no men paying attention to me. But see, men want to think, oh well, she innocent, she doing this or that. And they'll see that innocent woman. Like one of the best, my favorite game from a woman is when she looking all innocent and all peaceful and stuff. I was like, man, she a freak. Like I knew this one woman, talk with her, and she was dealing with a friend of mine, right?
Hmm.
And she would sound super innocent and all of that, but let's just say she was carrying something. I was like, I know some dudes probably see her and listen to her and think she wouldn't have that particular STD. Well, I
Mm.
was like, I ain't surprised. I ain't surprised.
Right.
You know,
And that's
that's
why you
what
have
she
to
had.
listen, and why you have to observe, because they want to be in the presence of the type of man that they can be honest with,
Hmm.
because they understand that in order to get the best outcome, they need the best leader.
Yes, yes. And you have to know as a leader, you as cousin T-Taw said it perfectly, you gotta know where you're going. You
Yes,
gotta
indeed.
know where you're going. And sometimes sometimes these women, maybe if you got enough sex appeal for them or the women bored, they still might mess with you, but deep down, they want that leader. Deep down, women want to submit. Let me
Yes.
say that again. Deep down, they want to submit. I don't care. Yeah, there's very few women who are just so independent that they don't want to submit, and even they sometimes. And cousin Tito, you can attest to this. Sometimes they'll pay a man just to submit to them for that weekend or something.
Absolutely.
That pay for a boyfriend for a week or something, because it's all about their energy. Because ultimately, it comes down to the intermix of masculine energy and feminine energy, yin and yang,
Right.
and that's just going just into that very nature, you
Keep
know.
going on that. Keep going on that.
Yeah, no, it's just to that feminine nature, because one of the things as a man that you really have to understand is your own power. Like these women out here want you. And see, all they doing when they run in that game, when they run in their game, they just trying to get that masculine man. That's the thing. That's the thing. But see, he got to be caught up in his masculine. He got to develop himself. See, that's the key. See, the real key for a man to even get a woman, it ain't changing her, getting her to change up, or trying to get her to live some fantasy or whatever. He changed himself. She's going to respond to him. She's going to do the things that she has to do, you know? So it's like, let me read this thing. Let's see. The pimp god said it. Women I find the most attractive are very reserved in their demeanor, but these type of women are also the slickest, and they quiet. I said that earlier, honorable pimp god, because I said like my cousin. My cousin could be real quiet. That's when she the scariest. I was like, because I know hers before she could even talk, but she just sit back and observe people, and she's gotten what she want out of men. Man, she on some terrible shit. She be running some shit, man. But see, a lot of guys don't really, they don't really understand that. They as the honorable pimp god said, they want their imagination. They want that innocent woman. Imagine she ain't did all that, or they worried about who she got with in the past. Let me say something about that real quick.
Hmm.
Who gives a fuck? It's seriously, who gives a fuck? You don't know. You don't know. You weren't there. Only worry about that woman when she right in front of you or right under you, whatever. You don't
Absolutely.
worry about who she dealt with in the past, because she either gonna tell you the truth or she gonna lie to you. She gonna do
Mm.
either one, and you probably ain't gonna like either one. So you
Right.
don't worry about it. You only worry about if it's a problem while you dealing with her right then on the spot.
Right. And you want the truth. That's really what you want to establish and
Mhm.
continue with. Shout out to Trisha Fitness. We appreciate that, Finn, for the ism being taught. Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Shout out to you, Giovanni. Giovanni says, I've been listening to both of you guys since I was 18. Salute to you. Now 24 and have had no problems with women. Thank you to both of y'all. We appreciate that. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We do appreciate all of the contributions being made. Keep in mind that Rom's information is at the bottom of the screen scrolling right now. Sub to that Patreon. He drops gems every single day. Like, subscribe, and forward this conversation to someone that you know will benefit from this ism. Shout out to the Pimp God.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp.
He says, women I find most attractive are very reserved in their demeanor, but
Mhm.
these types of women are also the slickest. Yes, yes. And you know what, PG, I gotta do it now, because you always present a wonderful setup to a memory, an experience, a lesson learned. In this particular lesson, I believe I made a video about it years and years and years ago, but I want to use it because it's appropriate for this particular conversation regarding how women run game. Now, obviously, this conversation can continue, and it will continue into the future. We'll have future conversations about how women run game, because, like Ram said before, we cannot condense it all into a 2-hour span of time. But
Mhm.
in harmony with what PG just posted, the reserved women are definitely the slickest. Here's the story, Rom. And of course, I'm at the gym. This is years ago. I'm at the gym and I'm doing my thing, jumping rope, doing all kinds of fun gym activities. The gym rats know what I'm talking about. When you've got, your select days for different muscle groups, and you're in the mix. You get to know the people who are there, because it's a community. That's part of the beauty of the gym space, right? It's a community space. So there's this young lady who is at the gym consistently, looks great, wonderful body. She happens to be Ghanaian, right? Rob, yeah, from the
Mm.
continent, right?
Oh,
And
motherland booty. Yeah.
you better know. And so, just small talk, small, back and forth. She doesn't really, she wasn't really communicating with many people at the gym. But we're talking about, her trips between here and Accra, in Ghana, and her family and things of that nature, or whatever. I don't carry it anywhere beyond the gym space, because I'm very protective of my sanctuary at the gym. Until this one conversation, she brings up that she'll be leaving. She's going to be traveling to Africa for an extended period of time. And you know what she says, Rom? Hey, there's
What?
going to be a going away party. You should come to this going away party that people are having for me. I said, sure. You know what? That would be lovely.
Mm-hmm.
So time and date are established. Hey, let's just exchange information. So I'll be up on the event as it gets closer. Sure, why not? Super innocent, right? The evening of the event arrives, Rom,
Mm-hmm.
and she's younger. She's a PYT, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got this young, sweet, foreign young lady, and I get to the address of the bar where the quote unquote going away party is supposed to be held.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, when I took my butt up in that place, it wasn't nobody in there but her sitting alone at a booth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking around. I'm like, what are decorations at? Where the people's at? Where the balloons? Where the cake?
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? I'm genuinely like perplexed. Did we get the
Mhm.
is this the wrong date? Are we in the
Mhm.
wrong place? I can't be in the wrong place because there she is over there sitting by her lonesome.
Mhm.
You know what she was wearing?
Mm.
Yes, she was wearing them come get 'ems. All right.
Mm.
Yes, indeed. She was wearing the come get 'ems. And so I walk over and I say, "Hey, Miss Thang, where the party at? What's going on?" And she looks down all sheepishly, looks up, she's like, "Oh, come have a seat." What's going on? She was like,
Mhm.
"Well, I just want you to know that I've appreciated all of the interactions that we've had up to this point, and I I have to confess, I put this ruse together so that you and I can have a chance to get to know each other." I'm like,
Mm.
"I know you lying. I know you fucking Rob."
Man, I ain't surprised. She got you, man. She got you, man. That's that, dude. That's one of the things. Because if a woman wants to give you some, she gonna find a way to do it. She gonna find a way. Invite you out to her car, be at a party or something. Say, hey, you want to check out my car? Do something. Women, when they want you, they want you. When you that type of man she gonna find a way to give you some. That's why some of these guys out here who ain't getting any, right?
Mhm.
Y'all just ain't in that select category. Y'all just don't know. But if a woman wants you, she just wants you. And these guys ain't getting some, dude, you just ain't select. All right. You are just not select.
Well, also, it exposes a lack of game because there's a such thing as an ugly, sexy player, an ugly, sexy player, right?
Mm-hmm.
The type
Mm-hmm.
of man who are unfortunate in the face, or they have an unfortunate aspect about them. Maybe they're short, maybe they're carrying a few extra pounds, but guess what?
Mm-hmm.
They're charismatic. They
Mm-hmm.
know themselves. They love themselves. You ever, yeah, and I'm just saying this rhetorically. You ever encounter a person who genuinely, authentically, thoroughly loves themselves?
Mm.
Isn't that energy infectious?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that's all you had to do. Because look, first of all, when women, I've always been saying there's a difference between looking good, like what society might consider considerably attractive, and sex appeal. You can still feel good about yourself. That's why on my channel I always tell men, just work with what you got, like fix that up no matter what. All right, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't be caught up in it, because you're going to get caught up with anything, and you get some other guys, they're going to be hating on you and whatnot. It's like, hold up, man, you feel good about yourself. Shoot, that woman might probably feel good about you, and
And
shoot, she'll want to get with you. See, that's what you want to do. See, one thing with that story you just told, cousin
yes,
Tito, I am
yes,
not surprised at all. Because when women want to get with you, that's part of their game too. If they just want to get with you, they will find a way to do it. They will find a way. Invite you over to their house or something. You think you coming for a big party, she the only one there. Or she
yeah,
say, hey, can I come over and drop something off? And she come over there, have nothing on but a trench coat and some high heels or something. Or
yeah.
y'all go on a date, you go to her apartment or something, she go in the bathroom, and she
Mhm.
got she got she got all her clothes on. Did she come out in a little teddy or something and a hot towel or something? Man, please.
Yes,
You,
indeed.
if a woman want to get with you, she gonna get with you. That's why, and this a bigger question, a bigger issue. These guys up here complaining, and then they try to play it off like, well, these something wrong with these women. No, they just don't want your motherfucking ass. They just don't want your motherfucking ass. But If you listening to what I'm saying, you listen to what cousin T-Taw's saying, you listening to what the honorable pimp guy was saying, we telling you how the women going to hand it to you, even when you not trying. Like when I was in the hospital, when I had my medical emergency a few years ago, couldn't even walk, couldn't even
Mm.
eat.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't have a woman always coming in all the time, I probably could have hooked up with one of those nurses, but I didn't know when this woman would show up sometime. And oh man, she was letting me know what was up. There was a couple nurses like that. They were down for a brother. Because a
Listen,
woman, when she wants you, she's going to hand it. That's part of their game too. And they want that. They want that.
right. Well, let's be honest about what we're talking about today. We are talking about how women run game. And let's
Yeah.
remind those who are listening the difference between how a woman runs game and
Mm-hmm.
how a man practices the art of ism
Mm-hmm.
are the outcomes. You
Mm-hmm.
see, for a woman, they run game. The outcome of them running their game is to receive benefits.
Yes.
The outcome of a man practicing the art of ism
Mm-hmm.
is so that everyone involved can win. And
Yes.
that has to do with his leadership. Where are we going?
Yes.
What is the direction of this dynamic?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we'll discuss this in a different stream. Listen, we've got conversations lined up. Okay. So get ready.
Yes.
Where a man with game is leading the dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
it's towards the destination. What is the destination? The
Mm-hmm.
destination is the space that he has developed
Yes.
for a woman to be comfortable enough, a
Mm-hmm.
woman to be confident enough, a woman to be inspired enough to nest. You
Mm-hmm.
see, that is the destination. The destination is where every woman wants to be, whether she knows it or is willing to admit it or not. The destination happens and is with the type of man who is on his path or has arrived in a space of masculine mastery. And guess what, Rom? A woman can smell that out a mile away.
Oh
She
yeah.
may not have the language. We're providing the language for those who are listening right now and who will listen on the restream. Here is the language, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it again. A woman runs game so that she can ultimately receive benefits.
Yes. Yes.
A player, Mac, and OG practice the art of ism
Mm-hmm.
ultimately so that everyone involved can win. And what does it mean to win? What winning means to a player, Mac, or OG is that everyone arrives at the destination. And what
Mm-hmm.
is the destination? The destination is that space where a woman can nest
Mm-hmm.
and where a man can rest.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And see that gets into some deeper stuff.
Yes, indeed. Go for it.
That gets into some deeper stuff because I've talked about the house of the man,
Mhm.
and also Master Yao talks about it, but it ain't really even come from him. He got it from other sources too. But
Mhm.
one of the houses of the man, one of the pillars is the eagle. The eagle sees ahead.
Mhm.
Once you have that part, like you not just you seeing ahead, you seeing the path ahead. A woman's nature is to follow that path. See, if a man's truly leading, he's seeing ahead. He ain't just going along with the flow. He's seeing a plan, even if she don't agree with it consciously, subconsciously, she wants that man who's going some direction. That's why I always say a man needs to be on his mission, because if that man isn't on his mission, how's the woman going to be in submission to that mission?
Right.
She that man got to know what he trying to do in his life for that woman to even respect him. Because if he don't have an idea whether he communicated, whether he going in that, a woman might not deal with him for the long term. You know, she might deal with him if he cute or something or fine or she just wants something to do, but she ain't gonna be serious with him. She ain't gonna be serious with him. She
Correct.
has to really like see that he's going someplace. That's why you get those pretty young things. That's why sometimes even in situations where a woman she might be married or something, but she see her husband ain't doing anything. She don't want to give him any, but she run into that guy who's going in a certain direction. She want to deal with him. And see, it comes down to no matter what game they running, a man got to have his ism. He got to know where he going. He got to have that relationship with himself. No matter
Yes.
what she doing, no matter I don't care what she doing, she going to do her thing, and you respect she do her thing, but you got to do your thing.
Yes.
You got to be going in a certain way. You got to be doing certain things, no matter what she doing. And you don't get mad at her doing. She just being a woman. That's just her. She's
Yes.
just enabling the feminine principle in life. But see, you gotta enable the masculine principle. And
Yes.
as long as you remember that, you good to go. You
That's
good to
it.
go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said.
Thank you.
Well said. Absolutely. When we talk about as we get ready to wrap up this particular conversation, when we talk about the purpose of a woman's game, right? Because nothing is without purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is without purpose. Now we're taking it to the advanced level right here. All right, we don't want to lose too many people when we enter this level of game. All right, nothing is without purpose, and the purpose of a woman's running her game is one, to show the type of man that she desires, who she is. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, when you're dealing with the type of woman who is savvy enough, who
Mm-hmm.
is experienced enough, who is
Mm-hmm.
practiced enough to run her game effectively,
Mm-hmm.
she know how to get with a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
She know how to get with the mailman.
Mm-hmm.
She know how to get with the airplane pilot.
Mm-hmm.
She know how to get with the personal trainer at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
She knows how to get with a politician.
Mm-hmm.
She knows how to get with a nerd, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who she does not know how to get with.
Mm-hmm.
You ready for this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
She does not know how to get with a man with a mission.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this can be for a couple reasons. But the reason that we're going to highlight right now is this: a woman who has game, who has successfully ran game to the point of receiving benefits, does not know how to run game on a man with a mission, because a man with a mission knows how to put women in their position. Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
You see, a man with a mission knows how to put women in their position.
Mm-hmm.
And a woman who knows how to run game can't know her position with the man with the mission. You know why, Ron? Because she doesn't know his mission until he informs her of his mission. She can't
Mm-hmm.
know how to run game on the man with a mission because she is waiting on him to put her in position. You see?
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yeah. Yeah. She don't know what's up with him.
She can't
Nah.
know what's up. And
Nah.
this is part of the beauty of the game. You see?
Mm-hmm.
The game is universal. The
Mm-hmm.
game is beautiful. The
Mm-hmm.
game is spiritual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the
Well.
And when we understand and appreciate the game for what it is, we appreciate the gift that the coaches, the mentors, and the teachers of this thing called game present. We're presenting a gift to the world right now. And I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not being I'm not over exaggerating when I say that. Because the more that we speak on this thing called game, the more that we speak on social strategy, the more that we speak on the philosophical curriculum that is the art of ism, the better the men and women who are listening to us, who are receiving this information, who inquire about our books, who inquire about our Patreons, who look to establish sessions so that they can get the personalized, detailed elements of this ism for themselves and ultimately for the benefits of those who they care about. The more we provide these gifts to people, the better relationships become. The more communicative these relationships become. The better the outcomes start to blossom. The better the relationships that are intact are allowed to flourish into what they are supposed to be. Remember, the goal of a man that practices the art of ism is so that everyone involved can win. Right? That way she gets a space to nest and he gets a space to rest. Right? Now, when you listen to others who are on these internet streets, repeat what I just said, because this is the first place that was said. Let's just be honest. Okay. However, part of this ministry, if you would, part of this classroom, the instructions that we are producing and presenting has to do with this message being carried forward. Because guess what, Ron? There are levels to this thing.
Oh, yeah.
There are levels to this thing. So we have to present elements in every conversation that we have so that we lay the groundwork for higher levels of understanding. Right? And so when we talk about how women run game, we have to understand that ultimately a woman is going to play her position, right? And Ron, just as a recap, we've established what a masculine man, let me be specific, right? Not just a male, not as Pimp God would say, not as a juvenile male, right? Not his position, but the position of a masculine man. His natural position is that of authority. And as we have defined, authority is legitimate rulership. That's what authority is. Legitimate rulership. So what is the woman's natural position? Right?
Yeah.
Her natural position is to be subject to legitimate rulership.
Yes.
And so one of her roles, one of the duties of femininity is to legitimize masculine rulership.
Yes.
Right? Isn't that what they refer to as survival of the fittest?
Oh, yeah.
A woman's genetic makeup just move towards a fit man, meaning he's capable, he's competent, he's confident, charismatic, and he has order. He knows where he's going, right?
Yeah.
He's developed systems of not only surviving, but being able to thrive under pressure, right?
Yeah.
Because, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, man, that's a whole other show right there. Survival of the fittest, man. because that's the whole thing with these women, like guys trying to figure out these women doing this or that. Women, for really the first time in centuries, particularly in Western culture, are free to go for the men they really want. That's all it is.
Yes.
Forget all this other bullshit. I mean, guys trying to figure out stuff they have in conferences. It's like, no, women just free to go for who they want now. That
Right.
shoot, that's it. That's a whole other conversation in itself. That's a 2 hour one, 2 3 hours, whatever. But that's
Mhm.
what it's always been. And we're talking about in several millennia. This the first time they free in this general culture, global culture, to really go for what they want. Survival of the fittest, because they cold blooded. And it is go down to those genetics because the next generation come through them. They really decide, women, I'm gonna tell you how powerful women really are. They really decide the type of world that we live in. Because
Mm.
they decide the type of spirits that will be born into this world.
Mhm.
They decide what type of men and women will be in the next generations, the type of children, the type of people. And it really, yeah, it does go deeper. Because if we start talking about genetics and stuff, like I said, that's a whole other show. And I'm gonna be real, man. A lot of people ain't really ready for that because nobody wants to feel like they're inferior. Nobody wants to feel like, and I can understand that. But what are you
Mm.
doing to be superior? What are you doing to be fit? You know,
Yeah.
seriously. I
Yeah.
mean, that women they cold blooded. Even when I talk about the imprint's actually deeper than what I talk about. It's way deeper. Like Master Yao hit me with that. Yeah, that's deeper. That's going on a deeper level. But part of the deepness is the genetic thing and who the women are willing to, whose genes they want to bring into the future.
Right.
That's why one of the things I pay attention to, one of the things I pay attention to when I meet a man, I was like, well, how many children you have? Right? How many children you have? Because I'm gonna tell you what, that was the earliest game I learned is that whole pregnancy game.
Mm.
That's why you get some dudes out here, they can have multiple children and women lined up to have them. And then some other dudes, the women, if they have sex with the woman make sure she protected. She'll use all 32 forms of birth control.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so I mean, it is deeper on that level, and the man needs to think about that. Like I said, that gets into a whole deeper conversation. That whole survival of the fittest. Shoot, you get some guys coming on here. They hate us, but we gotta be real. That's why a
Well,
lot of guys are having some trouble.
let's just let's close it out with that statement that you mentioned. What is it about us that guys are hating on? We already know what the answer to that. Men who are afraid of facts, afraid of reality,
Mm-hmm.
hate the truth.
Mm.
And that's why they love the lies
Mm-hmm.
that women tell them.
Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh.
And that's, ladies and gentlemen, is how women run game.
Yes. Mm, mm.
So thank you very much for everybody who was participating in tonight's stream. Thank you very much for PG for showing up, even though he has a little technical difficulties. Absolutely. Absolutely. And always. Thank you very much to the player, OG, Ron Wills himself.
I'll be a player for life. So where's my wife?
And remember, you can always forward, everybody who's listening to the sound of my voice, you can always forward, like, subscribe, and send this message, send this conversation to someone who you know will benefit from
Mm.
This is until next time. The next time we have a conversation, it's going to be fire. And ahead of that conversation, everybody make sure that you go out and purchase Nice Guys and Players. And as always, this is your man, Cousin T, aka the Alpha Wingman, saying, stay sharp and mission focused. Later.
Peace, y'all.